Banky special.
Yeah.
Pure deliciousness.
Pure deliciousness, man. My name is Banky, man. Everybody calls me Banky. That's the name that I got from my grandmother when I was young. I'm coming out here after 30 years. Yeah, I ain't got nothing, but I'm gonna have something because I'm rich in personality, you know, and I'm rich in love. My family love me, and that's really all that counts. Yeah, man. Pete Pierce has laid down the law, man, and one thing you better learn quick in there is Pete Pierce is the queen, the emperor, God. Whatever she say is law in there, and going against her is futile, man. You have absolutely no chance, man. So she told me that's what I had to do. So I just had to lock it in my mind that that was what I was gonna have to do. It won't no other way around it, just like I said. So I had to start preparing myself, man. Big Show started telling me, giving me pointers and everything, and then they was telling me like in the following weeks I was gonna have to start setting up on the panel board with Big Show as, you know, his assistant, like I'm in training, you know, to take over the job. So I had to learn all of this new stuff, all the while trying to learn how to process all these classes that I had to take, because it's several classes you got to take in reentry. I mean, all types of programs you got to complete, you know, and I was just trying to lock in, man, and see what was going on. At the same time, I had to do, when I pull up in there, man, I had to do to come to my cell when I finally got my property and I'm unpacking and stuff. So everybody coming there to holler at me that knew me or whatever, so I'm speaking to them. And then here comes this dude, man. He walk in and you know, when you see somebody, you know their face and you know who it is. And you know, when you're in penitentiary, you immediately try to have something trigger in your mind. Is this person I know him from somewhere? And then the next thought is it an enemy, or is it, you know, is it a friend, or is it a foe? You know, so I knew it was a friend type thing. And the way he was coming, I didn't, you know, detect no aggression on his body language or anything like that. So he just walked up to me, dialed me up, like gave me a little short, brief shoulder bump and everything. He said, I know you get your stuff together and everything, but I'll holler at you in a minute, man. I'll holler at you when you get your stuff all together. So he rolled out. But when he rolled out, I'm saying in my mind, I know him, but I don't know him, but who is it? And, you know, dude said something that came in there to after him. Munchie, shout out Munchie. That's my brother, man. You know, he fighting for his liberation right now. He going for parole this month on the 26th. We got a meeting with the parole board. I'm going in there and advocate on his behalf as well. I'm honored to do that, you know, to try to get my brother up out of here. Been in there for 28 years and trying to get his liberation, man. So free Munchie. So yeah, Munchie was in there. So I was asking Munchie, because he was across the hall. He hadn't made parole or anything, but he was across the hall, and he was a worker in there in the reentry pod that was next door. He was a facilitator in the class, so they hired some people from population to work over there in conjunction with them to help get, you know, what they got going on. They called him an elder. He was an elder in the pod. So he came over there because he knew I made paper and everything. He was all happy for me, this, that, and the third, filling all through my stuff, trying to see what I got that he could take because I'm going home. Let me get this, let me get that, all of this type of stuff. So I was asking him, I said, man, who's the dude that just walked out? He said, his name Adrian or something like that. He's the laundry man over here. And it popped in my head, man. AB, Adrian Branch, man. I grew up with this dude. You know, I grew up with this dude, so I hadn't seen this dude literally since high school, you know. And circumstances had led him to prison. He was never getting in trouble, nothing like that, but a domestic situation led him to prison, and he was doing 10 years, but he was also at the end of his 10-year sentence, and he was getting ready to go home probably like a month and a half after me, you know, because like I say, when you in there, the program is 5 months long if everything goes according to plan, and then, you know, you're out of there. So he had like a month after me to go because he was in the program as well, but he had a mandatory date, but he was just taking the program before he leave, but his mandatory date was like a month, you know, projected after mine. So, man, I was just, you know, when I knew who he was, man, I had more excitement about talking to him, man, talking about old days, man, days when we grew up or whatever. And, we ended up, chopping it up, man, and becoming, even more closer than we was on the street, because prison to do that to you, man. When you up in there, you'll build bonds in there that you may have knew somebody on the street, but you in such confined quarters and you in such a dangerous place that, you have to be close who you let get close to you. And when you let somebody do get close to you, you got to know who's standing beside you, So yeah, man, so we ended up getting real close, man, and we still good friends to this day out here on the street. I done been to his house, he done been to my house, and shout out to AB, man, good dude, real good brother, came out here, got on his grind, man, started doing what he said he was gonna do, and he's in a good position right now, got married, got him a house and all that, and he's been out here, like I say, a month less than I have. So it was good seeing him. So, I was trying to get into my routine. I was trying to figure out and navigate the way I'm going to, do this reentry stuff. I went through all of these little, what do you call it, initial classes that you had to go to, to get prepared for what I had to do, meeting all the counselors, meeting all the sizes, meeting all the people in the building. This building was separated from all the other buildings because it was supposed to be, like I say, a reentry building where everybody in here is potentially going home. The dudes on this side, the dudes that was next door, those was dudes that not had made parole, but they was also like within 2 years of their mandatory date that they was getting out. So everybody in this building was projected to go home, one day in the near future. So by you having those conditions in the building, it's being ran a little different than the regular population because you got this is a program building. Everybody here is going to classes all day long, back and forth, taking classes, trying to, get prepared to go back on the street. And you got the officers working in this building with the knowledge of that these people right here is getting ready to go home. But they used to take that knowledge, a lot of them, not all of them, but a lot of them, and, use that to their advantage, man, to talk to you any kind of way, to try to handle you. Because, like I say, penitentiary, man, from either side, from the convict side or the administration side, they ain't got no love for you, man, none whatsoever. When your back is against the wall, man, people gonna take cold advantage of you. So that's what they was doing, man. They talk to you any kind of way because, like I say, they know you didn't want no confrontation. They know you didn't want no situation to occur. They definitely know you didn't want to get a charge. Like I said, when we was in the reentry, when we made parole, we couldn't even get a charge, no matter what it was. We couldn't even get a petty charge. If we got a petty charge, it's to the discretion of the parole board whether or not they want to take your parole back and send you straight back to the penitentiary and you right back at square one. So it's a lot of pressure to be up under, a lot of pressure. So I was trying to blend in, man, trying to stay out of everybody's way and pray that they stayed out of mine. Me and G was getting along all right in the cell. Like I said, I had a lot of people in there that I knew that was really good friends of mine over the years, or good associates of mine over the years. And I used to just rock with them. I got into a routine of working out. I got into my workout plan. I got into, my studying, what I had to do to pass these classes, getting these books. I was taking even extra classes that they had in there. I was taking just so I could be prepared because I didn't know what was going to happen on the outside. I knew I had a plan, but I didn't know what the plan was for me out here. I didn't know what life had out here. I hadn't been out here in 3 decades. So I can remember, I took a forklift class and learned how to drive them forklifts. A lot of dudes that was in there prior, for me being in there. And since I've been in there, have got out and took that class and got out and got forklifting jobs out here right now. I know a few of them myself. But I took it, I passed it, but I really wasn't interested in doing it. But I just wanted to have it under my belt because if push came to shove, I had that skill and I could go use that skill set. I took the flagger class, man, with them dudes you see standing out there with the car and they doing construction on the road and you got the flags and directing you and all that. I took the flagger class, man. I took almost everything you could take in there. I wanted to stay occupied. I wanted to stay busy. I wanted to keep my mind focus on, trying to better myself because, like I say, this was a reality now. I was really going out on the street, the best of my knowledge, So that's what I did, man. And me and Adrian, AB, man, we started, he ain't gonna work out. He ain't gonna work out. He ain't doing no workout at all. So I had got into a deep workout routine, man. I worked out in the morning, every morning, and I worked out at lunchtime. Started doing 2 a days. So I'd be in the cell, man, with my celly going out there or something, and I just be in there working out. And I can remember agent used to be coming by there, man, saying, all right, man, that's enough working out, man. Man, that's enough, man. And that was the thing that killed me about him, man. And we joke about it to this day. Agent would talk so low. And I don't remember this from when we was in high school. He said it was something he'd been doing since he was in prison, because he's a real low-key, introverted kind of guy, or so you would think so, especially from prison. But he talked so low, you could literally be right beside him, and I'd be like, man, AB, I ain't heard a word you said, man. I ain't heard that. He'd be talking to me like, yeah, Banky, I was like trying to tell you and let you know what's up. I'm like, man, what are you saying, bro? You got to speak up. Oh yeah, I don't like to talk loud because, all these people. I said, I know, man. I've been in the penitentiary all day. I know everybody knows, everybody be in your business. But brother, I'm right beside you. I can't hear a word you're saying, man. And he used to kill me with that. We'll stay in and eat. When dudes go out to eat, I still won't eat in the kitchen like that. And I stay in there and we be eating ourselves at the table. It might be 5 people in the whole block. And he's still whispering, man. Yeah, man, he used to kill me with that. But now he out here on the street and you see him and you heard every word he got to say. Every word he got, oh yeah, man. I said, man, and I tell his wife, I said, man, you would have tripped off him in the penitentiary. Man, you couldn't hear a word this dude was saying, man. He was whispering, talking to you, right up on you, and you couldn't hear nothing he say. But, like I say, when you in prison, man, you really a different person than you are out here. And more so because you have to be. Because you're in a different world and you're dealing with a different environment and different people. So you have to act different, man. You have to adapt and adjust to your environment, man. And I guess that was a way, that he did it. And he had that, he got that, what you call, what's that thing with your feet, man? The gout. Man. I had seen a couple of people with that gout thing, man, and it was crazy because I remember seeing a young white dude on River North with it. And he used to be coming down the stairs, man, so gingerly, man, and shaking. And man, it take him so long, man, to take one step down the stairs. That it just was crazy. I was like, man, what is it? And they said he got the gout, man, in his feet. That don't hurt that bad. They said it hurt so bad to the touch. And then Adrian had it. And I can remember when it would flare up on him and he'd be trying to come out. And man, he'd be like, and he was a laundry so he couldn't do the laundry that day because took him, he'd just be hovering. And I could remember asking him, man, that don't hurt that bad. And he was like, and gave me that look. He was like, man, this thing hurt worse than anything I ever had. I was like, what? I said, man, hurt even when you lay down, when you ain't on your feet or nothing. And he said this, man, and I joke with him to this day because it was funny to me. But I know it's not funny, but it was just the way he said it and the way it came out. But he was like, I was like, man, it hurt when you just lay down, you ain't on your feet. He said, man, that stuff hurts so bad, man. If the sheet, he said, the sheet rub across your feet, man, you in tremendous pain. I say, what? He said, yeah, it hurts so bad that to the touch, if the thin as the sheet is in the penitentiary, he said, if the sheet rub across it, it hurt. And man, I just thought that was, hilarious, man. Not hilarious that he was in pain, but just, the reality that this stuff hurt that bad and that he had, categorized it like that. If the sheet come, man, I was like, yeah, but that was just something funny, man. But, but like I say, every place you at, man, even though you were in reentry, you're still out, you're not out of danger. Because like I say, you had stuff going on in there. You had some young cats in there. You got gang members in there. You got people that was trying their hardest to get in this building and get in there. There was like a year or something, or 2 years close to going home because they wanted to get out of population. Because dudes out there in the population, they extorting dudes. They handling the telephones. They running the microwave. They running the shower. They charging you for all that. That's what the gangs is doing in there right now. You got to pay to use that telephone. You got to pay to take a shower. You got to pay to get in that microwave. Because they commandeering all of that stuff and saying this blood microwave or this Crip shower, you know what I'm saying, or this GD phone, and they got to pay to get on it. Nobody be on the phone, and You go pick up the phone and them dudes is ready, they ready to pounce on you. They ready to put some work in on you because you ain't asked to use the phone. You ain't paid to use the phone. See what I'm saying? This is what prison was becoming as I'm leaving out the door. These gang dudes is laying there mocked down everywhere. So these dudes was desperate to get over there. Because over in the regular population, can't use the phone at all because they ain't built like that and they ain't will never get a chance to get on the phone. Especially a white dude. Sad but true, a white dude ain't stand a chance. I can remember had a couple of white dudes in there, a lot of white dudes that was in there that was just within 2 years of going home. And they had did everything and wrote every type of paperwork they could to get over there because they felt safe over there. Because they knew there wasn't nobody gonna harm them over there because everybody had something to lose. But then again, you gotta look at it as the gang members that wasn't that deep in the gangs over there. They wanted to come over there as well. Because they wanted to be able to control the phones over here. They wanted to be able to try to extort dudes that was coming over there like the little other white guys. So you still had a little bit of that foolishness going on in the block that we was in Reentry, which we thought everybody that made parole was, saying, man, this is insane, man, that we even got to be in here with these dudes and how reckless they living. They putting our freedom at jeopardy because one of them get in our way, and then next thing you know, we do something stupid, and we right back to square one. Yeah, we right back to square one just doing something stupid because we got to deal with these youngsters that don't know nothing about penitentiary, don't know nothing about the consequences, don't know nothing about what will happen to them. It's just crazy. It's insanity, man. But it was going on in there and, man, it was going on a regular basis, man. It was just crazy. And then, like I said, man, the dynamics of the whole block, what we was in, was mixed with that. Because they didn't have enough people making parole at the time. The parole thing was cranking up, and it had cranked up for a minute, and then it started slowing down again. Less and less amount of people was making parole. You see what I'm saying? So you got 84 people in the block, probably 45 to 50 of them were parolees. Was parolees had been locked up for 20-some years or better. So that was the different dynamics in there. And then, like I said, them gang dudes in there, man, they was putting their weight down too. They was trying to control stuff. They was trying to handle certain things, man. And this stuff caused a whole lot of problems in there, man. So I try to stay away from that dynamic all the way together. And like I say, I knew the phone was definitely a trigger for the situation. The phone was in play, man, because you had dudes, them little dudes. You had one little dude in there, like I say, he was trying to control the phone. He was trying to control the phone, and he let you know out of his mouth, which I think to this day was just so weak, man, of him. Such, the word for it, of what he really was acting like. But he was taking cold advantage of it because he even said one day, man, he said out loud that, yeah, all y'all done made parole. I ain't, I'm going home anyway. If any one of y'all get in my way about this phone, I'm going to pop off on you. I'm going to take off on you. He literally said that, man. I couldn't get that out of my mind. You know what I'm saying? And he's going, I'm going to mess your parole up. I'm going home anyway. So that's what y'all want to do. That's the chance y'all want to take. Go ahead and try me. You know what I'm saying? So, you got dudes looking at him. And then, like I say, on population, you'd have got slaughtered, man. You'd have got slaughtered for saying something like that. But you know where you at, and you know the position the dude's in, back against the wall, and you can get away with it. And that's what they was doing in there, man. So my main thing was to stay away from all of that type of foolishness, if at all possible, man. And then when these meetings started going on, and it was getting closer and closer to Big Show to get ready to leave, then they started wanting me to really replace him before he even left. Because they couldn't wait the exchange for Big Show, because Big Show was a character as well. And you had to be dressed all with your shirt and all this stuff tucked in and all. And Big Show was a real big dude, so he really wasn't all about that dressing stuff. He he 400 and something. So he really wasn't all about that. So, when you do these meetings in the morning, they got anybody from the institution may pop up in these meetings. The morning meeting or the evening meeting. That's why they always wanted us to look professional. Anybody might pop up, from the warden to outside people. They bring other institutions in and let them watch these meetings, because other institutions from other states might want to implicate this program within their system. So they'll send administration heads from other institutions in other states to sit there and watch these meetings and go make notes and stuff and take it back and try to implement it in their system. So they always let us know to be prepared at all times when we having these meetings. They was strict upon that. They was super focused on that. If you get up in these meetings and you not participating or you cutting up, you will be removed from this program. You understand? And whether you're a parolee or not, if you're not a parolee, you're going to be removed from this program and put back in the regular population with a charge. They made that specifically clear. So these meetings, like I'll tell you, every morning and every evening was serious. It was serious business. So, you know, like I say, the warden may come in there, outside people may come in there, the big Richmond, the DOC, you know, they may come up in there, the head of the DOC, the regional director, you know, the regional director for Reentry, the head of Reentry. Anybody could come in there all the way up to the governor. The year before I got in there, they said Governor Northam or either Governor McCullough had came through there doing one of these meetings and watched one of the meetings. So you could get anybody that may come in there. The head of the parole board could come in there. You see what I'm saying? So that added a whole lot of pressure to what you was doing. Plus, they trying to throw me up there as the front man. So I'm like, man, I really ain't got time for all of this. But, you know, I had no other choice because it was the road to freedom for me. You know what I'm saying? And the road had been so long and so hard, you know, for me, whatever it took outside of me, you know, breaking my personal principles or outside of me being the man that I feel I am, then that's what I had to do. You know what I'm saying? That's just what I had to do. So, yeah, I said start substituting. Like now they went from, okay, well, we want you to do, open the morning meetings up and we're going to let him do the evening meetings. You know, trying to transition him out. So they wanted me to start doing the morning meetings. So now every morning, man, I'll be in there and I had to get up there, make a little speech. They got the word of the day that's written on the board and you had to define whatever the word of the day meant. You know, say what the word of the day meant to you and your definition and your perception, things like that. And then I had to finish the my statements off with something positive to say to uplift the fellas. And then at the end, I had to close out the meetings as well as open up all the meetings and then close all the meetings out. So it was professional and it was business-like. And like I say, with what I'm doing today as far as talking to y'all, you know, I think that right there prepared me for this because prior to that, I had no public speaking experience whatsoever. I mean, zero, none, a donut. I had never spoken in front of people unless I'm speaking in a crowd of dudes on the penitentiary yard or speak, and usually that was a conversation, you know. So I had never did it. But like I say, you never know what you can do until you actually do it, you know, or you never know what you can do or will do unless your back is up against the wall. And that's the position that I felt like I was in. But in retrospect, looking back on it right now, it was a blessing in disguise. And it was something that was probably supposed to happen because it worked out well, man. You know, it got me to y'all, you know, because maybe if I had not never did that, I would not be out here, you know, feeling comfortable speaking the way that I do. And I remember when I first got up there, man, I was nervous as all get out, man. I ain't gonna tell you, I was nervous purpose up there. I said, man, all these cats looking at me and knowing how dudes is in the penitentiary, how everybody want to be hard and mean mugging and got something smart to say and whispering and, oh man, let's get this class over with. Man, he don't know what he talking about. Man, let's get up out here. All of that type of stuff going on. So I'm up here and I'm talking and I'm looking around and I'm trying to catch eyes like what? You know, who got something to say? Knowing that I don't want no smoke, I don't even want no trouble. But I'm still trying to train that out of me, but that's still my normal reaction. You know, I heard somebody, you know, like they like, man, hurry up. And I'm looking over there and I'm like, you know, man, don't mess this up. Don't mess this up for me. You know, but it was an experience, man. It was a learning experience, man. It was a good experience. And then, like I say, after about 2 or 3 times I've been up there, I had just locked it in my mind, man, these dudes you talking to, 9 out of 10 of them, man, you've known them over the years, you've talked to them over the years, you've seen them over the years, you've seen them in passing and coming, you don't even worry about it, just act like you're talking to a regular dude. And that's what I started doing. I just picked out somebody every day in the audience and felt like that's who I was talking to, where it made me comfortable enough where I could just talk freely, speak my mind, and, you know, let it flow. And I just took to it real good, man, and just kept on doing it. And then I was comfortable with it. And then before long, I look forward to doing it. You know, when I was coming up with my own philosophies, coming up with my own way of talking to feel like what might reach these dudes. Because I know I got some hard killers sitting out here, and I know they ain't trying to hurt no foolishness, and I know also that they know foolishness when they hurt. So I won't try to appease them with a bunch of BS. I just was giving it to them straight, man. Like, man, we, you know, especially all you dudes, I don't like to single nobody out. I know we all in here or whatever, and we in this fight together to try to get our freedom. But at the same time, man, I feel like we all in here, we being afforded a great opportunity, a second chance to get back out here on these streets, because we all sitting up in here know whether you was a lifer, whether you was made parole, whether you one of these dudes to get ready to mandatory. You should all know now, even if you done did a year at minimum or at the most, you should all know that it ain't guaranteed that you can walk up out of these doors when you come up in here. So for us to be able to have that chance to go back out there, man, we should all feel blessed. We should all embrace it. We should all embrace this class. We should all embrace this opportunity to try to take some tools out there that might help us navigate our way, you know, through the world out there, because obviously we had problems. That's how we ended up here. So I think we should all embrace this class, man, and try to, you know, get something out of it. I'm doing it, and a lot of y'all in here know me. So, you know, if I can do it, man, I feel like all of y'all can do it. You know, so I used to say things like that, man, because that's what I really felt. That's what I really thought. You know, that's what was really in my heart. You know, that, man, I'm lucky, you know, that I've made it to this point after 33 years that I can go back out there in society. So whatever I got to do in this class, especially if it's beneficial to me, if I want to learn something, if it's gonna make me better in this way or that way, then I got to embrace it, man. I got to embrace it. And I woke up, you know, with that type of attitude every day. And I started going back to even when I was making my programs and stuff, I started studying. I started, you know, reading more quotes and more philosophies that I could equate to, you know, or to them, or I could relate to them in a way that they could understand it. I would take a quote and I would break it down in my own words and explain it to them like, this is what it is meant to be got out of this. You know, take out of it what you will, but this is what I got out of it. You know, and man, I started seeing them coming around, and they was waiting for my speeches, man. They was waiting for me to drop something on them every day, and I felt like I was waiting to give them something every day. And man, it started going good, you know, and other people started coming in and sitting in on my meetings, you know, majors and wardens and, you know, like the reentry supervisors and stuff. Shout out to Saheed Brown too. Played a big monumental part in me being able to speak the way I do, as freely as I do when I'm up there on stage, because he came in and gave his testimony. He was now the head of Reentry, you know, and he had once, years and decades ago, had been incarcerated several times, you know, had been on drugs and had switched his whole life around, you know. And when you look at people coming in prison and speaking, you know, me personally, I always listen, because I always feel like you can obtain knowledge anywhere. But whenever I saw somebody coming in there speaking from experience, they had previously been incarcerated, I knew they understood what I went through. You know, I know they understood what I was going through. So that made me listen even more. So I can remember hearing him give his testimony, man, and I can remember being inspired by that, because I'm like, man, this is a brother that's been locked up 4-5 times. You know, have been on drugs, have been doing this, doing that. And now he coming up here, he is suited and booted, and he the head of reentry of a major prison, a compound. You know, talking positive, talking, you know, motivational stuff to dudes, showing you where he came from to where he at to where you can be. He was once in the system, now he a part of the system, getting a paycheck at one of the highest levels. So I just thought, man, that was real motivational to me. You know, they let me know, like I say, anything was possible. I could take, you know, and get out here on the street and do anything that I want to do if I just stay focused and shoot for it, right? So I just can remember thinking that when I seen him. And he became a major part, man. And even to this day, which I'll get into later on or in another joke, I'm still working with him today, whereas he's trying to get me, you know, in the position that he's in, as I can be someone like a DOC speaker that goes back into prisons and be able to talk to the inmates and be able to talk to the convicts and let them know, because most of them know me, that I came from out of here and this is what I'm doing out here on the street now, the Banky Pound YouTube, reaching people, man, spreading positive energy, so on and so forth. I just think that's so dope. You know, got my fingers crossed. He's working on that right now. But I just think that would be a big part of, you know, my liberation, man. A lot that I can get out of that, man. Just the feeling of being able to go back in there as a free guy and talk to these dudes and let them know, for all of them who know me, man, look at the transition that I've made, you know. And I think that gives a lot of dudes in there hope, you know, for what they're waiting for, to keep on fighting. Because like I say, when you in there, most definitely you need some hope. You need a light at the end of that tunnel. You need a target that you can shoot for. Because when you lose that target, and when that target get foggy or you can't see it, that's when the devil come, man. That's when you in trouble, and that's when you get into foolishness. And that's what was going on in there, even going on in there. Because I can remember one of the incidents that first came up, man, was when I used to get up there and speak. And like I said, I look around and I see, and you heard dudes whispering. And I can remember they had this little white dude in there, man. But he was like in there, but he was a druggie. And he was really in there hiding because he couldn't use the phone on population because they was taxing him. He was paying too much and he couldn't afford it no more. But he liked to just get drugs and just get high. And he was trying that over here in the Reentry. But so he was one of them white dudes that fashioned himself as a slickster, thought he was slicker than everybody else. You know, he talked the talk, walked the walk, but he thought he was slicker than everybody else. So I can remember he was out there one day and he was sitting with a couple of other white dudes and they giggling and laughing while I'm up there talking. And I used to give him that death look when I heard people, you know, just ignore me when I'm talking, because I can find you in the crowd and I look at him and I keep talking, but I'm looking dead at him. Like, you know, you need to pipe down, bro. So I can remember seeing them giggling and laughing over there, and it was about something I said. But then later on, come to find out, you know, AB was sitting close to him, and he came and told me, he said, I don't want to tell you this, man, because I know how you be, but I just tell you because, you know, I keep it real. I just want you to be aware. But yeah, little white dudes that was over there sitting, and they was the way you was talking, and they said, yeah, heard he was a killer, he do this, he do that, all the stuff in the system. Man, look at him, they got him up there talking like he a police, a state trooper. Man, that's just like shooting me in the heart. I'm like, they said what? You know, to be called a police in prison or to be akin to or associated, man, that's just like spitting in your face. So I said, man, I was ready to go rip his head off, not even knowing that, you know, this going, man, are you crazy? That's just the dumbest move you could ever make. But just my pride in my heart just wanted, I just wanted to strangle him. And then a little scrawny, man, I said, man, and I sat there. He said, don't say nothing. And I just couldn't hold it, man. I said, man, I got to go say something to this dude.
The Banky special.
Yeah.
Pure deliciousness.
Pure deliciousness, man.
My name is Banky, man. Everybody calls me Banky. That's the name that I got from my grandmother when I was young. I'm coming out here after 30 years. Yeah, I ain't got nothing, but I'm gonna have something because I'm rich in personality, you know, and I'm rich in love. My family love me, and that's really all that counts.